All right. Mitzvah Nun, Mitzvah 50, 50th Mitzvah in the Torah. שנצטווינו להרוג העוברים הקצת מצוות התורה בסעיף, that Bedin are obligated to execute by sword violators of certain Torah commandments. וזה הדין נקרא לרבותינו זיכרונם לברכה הרג. This is what our rabbis called hereg. והיא מיתה קלה. It's a lenient form of execution. If there was such a thing of a lenient form, this is a lenient form. ומכל מקום חנק קלה יותר ממנה. But nevertheless, chenek, strangulation, is more lenient than hereg. Okay? ואחד מן המומתים במיתה זו, one of the people who are executed by hereg, המכה עבדו אפילו כנעני, one who strikes his slave, even a Canaanite slave. והוא שמת תחת ידו, and he dies as a result from the strike. שנאמר, נקו מנקם. That's what the pasuk says. He shall be avenged. ובפירוש שיהרג מכהו בסייף. And the execution is by means of sword. כבר כתבתי למעלה, I already wrote above, שהרמב"ן לא ימנה 4 מיתות בדין ל4 מצוות. That Nachmanides, the Ramban, does not count executions or meeting out execution as 4 mitzvot, כמו הרמב"ם, like the Rambam says. משורשי מצווה זו, among the purpose of a mitzvah, שרצה אל לעקור מתוך אומתו הקדושה, רוע הלב והאכזריות הגדולה. God wanted to uproot from us the character traits of wickedness and cruelty. And therefore the Torah says or commands that anyone who has such anger, that he would strike someone with a mortal blow, abdo, his own slave, in his home, no one to save him, he should be put to death for this. Even though the slave is his own acquisition, and he's now destroying his own property, because his slave is his property. Nevertheless, the master is executed. This is an appropriate and fitting judgment. The judgments of Hashem are true, altogether righteous. The laws of the mitzvah, for example, that this law does not apply if the slave survives 1 day or 2 days after the assault. And all other details are set forth in Masechet Baba Kama. Someone who transgresses this mitzvah and does not mete out the punishment of saif, if he was capable of doing so, he's violated a mitzvah obligation. The punishment is great, because by neglecting justice, you cause harm to people. Okay, that's mitzvah 50. Mitzvah 51. Ladun bedin shor hamazik. That bedin is commanded to judge cases involving damaging ox. Ben sheizik adam, whether that ox damages a person. Kemo shekatuv beparashat v'chi gach, as the parasha says in Parashat Mishpatim, v'chi gach. Ben sheizik mamon, or whether the ox damaged property. So nowadays we don't have oxen, much to our, belongings. But we do have cars, and we do have other things that could cause damage. The primary definition of yigof is yidchof, to push. Umiu, however, it's not just limited to pushing with the body. Ben shiziko begufo, whether the ox damaged using its body, or beraglo, or its feet, or nashach beshinav, or bit with its teeth, or afilu yizik bekarnaf, or inflicted damage through its horns. Kulan bichlal leshon negifa mashma. All of them fall into negifa, pushing. Aval negiha, but when it comes to goring, lo mashma ela bekeren. That only is the implication is only horns. Nevertheless, all manners of damage inflicted upon a person by an ox are already included. Parashat ki gach vehemit. Pasuk says, if a man's ox shall gore, it's written that it must be killed. The mashma behemit mikol makom, which implies that the liability is that the ox killed in any manner, ben b'negicha, ben b'shar devarim, whether through goring or any other means. B'lav davka shor, you should know that this is not only exclusively to an ox. Ela afilu kol behema v'chaya v'ov sheiziku, any a domestic animal or wild beast or bird that damages, chayavim, the owner is liable. Ela shediber hakatuv beragil, the pasuk only uses an example that is most typical. Kvad amarnu, we've already said, the purpose of the mitzvah, shekol ha-mitzvot avod lanu advar ha-mishpat, all commandments that were transmitted to us with regards to justice, shoresh echaden, has one purpose, v'davar muskal, and it's sensible and easily understood, ve'eno tzarich lachazor oto b'chol achad v'achad, I don't need to repeat this every single time, he says. Dinei ha-mitzvah, the laws of the mitzvah are numerous. Kegon, for example, ezehu mo'ad ve'atam, what is considered a mu'ad and atam? A mu'ad is an animal that has a reputation of goring three times at least, and a tam is less than 3 times. And the differences in laws between them. The acts for which an animal could be called a mu'ad right away. There are certain circumstances where an animal would be labeled a mu'ad right away. And acts that are not considered mu'ad right away. Until we see that it's been accustomed. And with regards to this becoming accustomed, under what circumstances this behavior must occur for now to establish it a mu'ad. And what circumstances do we say he set aside this habit? If does he go from a mu'ad back to a short tam? And the 5 species of wild animals that have a status of mu'ad right from the start, that would be the wolf, the lion, the bear, the leopard, and the bardelat, the bardelat we're not sure, and the snake. Those are the animals that are mu'ad right away. Included in these laws are the differences between the type of domain in which they took place. Also, what is considered primary categories of damagers. What are considered subcategories. And the difference of law between them. Also including the laws is the extent of the guarding which a person is obligated to watch his animals so that they should not inflict damage. And how one is obligated to pay or be exempt from these damages, depending on how much care he took to prevent his animal. Many other laws are explained in the first 6 chapters of Baba Kama. With regards to these judgments, which are considered punitive judgments. We already said, it can only be ordained or judged with a bet din that is ordained with smicha in Eretz Yisrael. But nevertheless, according to bet din shel shamayim, damage is always obligated to pay, no matter whether you're found liable in a bet din or ordained in Israel or not. Therefore, should the damaged party seize money, we do not remove it from the possession in any location. Okay, we'll stop here and Bezat Hashem will continue next time.